The Forgiving Farmer. In a small village surrounded by fertile land and gentle hills, there lived a hard-working farmer named Raghav. Raghav was known for his dedication to his work. He spent long hours in his fields, cultivating his crops and ensuring his animals were well cared for. Despite his humble life, he had a reputation for being a kind and generous man. However, Raghav carried a heavy burden, anger and resentment towards several people in his life. Years ago, his neighbor, Kavi, had tricked him into selling some of his land at a price far below its true value. Raghav was hurt by the betrayal, but he did nothing about it. Over time, his bitterness grew, and the memory of Kavi's deceit filled him with anger. To make matters worse, another villager, Sandeep, had once stolen some of Raghav's crops. Though Raghav had forgiven him, the anger and distrust still lingered in his heart. Despite his hard work, Raghav's life seemed to be stagnant. His crops didn't yield as much as he expected, his animals seemed sickly, and his fields always felt like they were lacking in abundance. He was puzzled, as he was doing everything right, and yet prosperity seemed to elude him. One evening, feeling burdened by his thoughts, he went to seek advice from an elder monk who had recently moved to the outskirts of the village. The monk, named Avad, was known for his wisdom and serene presence. Raghav approached him one evening, his heart heavy with frustration. "Master," Raghav began, "I work hard every day, but I feel as though my efforts are not bearing fruit. My fields are barren, my animals are sick, and I do not know why. I've been betrayed by Kavi and wronged by Sandeep. Is it possible that I am being punished for their actions?" The monk looked at Raghav with kind eyes. "Ah, Raghav, you are carrying a heavy load, and you do not even realize it. Your life may not be thriving because of the burden of resentment that you are carrying in your heart. When we hold on to anger and bitterness, we create a poison within ourselves that blocks the flow of peace and prosperity." Raghav's brow furrowed in confusion. "But master, I have every right to be angry with them. Kavi deceived me and stole from me, and Sandeep stole my crops. How can I forgive him for such wrongdoings?" Avad smiled gently and gestured for Raghav to sit beside him. "It is natural to feel anger when we are wronged, but holding on to that anger will only harm you, not them. Anger and resentment are like weeds in a garden, they prevent the good seeds of peace, joy, and prosperity from growing. You must let go of these weeds if you wish to experience abundance in your life." Raghav listened intently, but his heart still felt heavy. "I understand, master, but how do I let go of the anger and forgive those who have hurt me?" Avad nodded and began to explain, "Forgiveness is not about excusing the wrongdoers or forgetting what happened. It is about freeing yourself from the grip of hatred and resentment. When you forgive, you are not doing it for the sake of the other person, but for your own peace and happiness. Holding on to anger keeps you tied to the past, preventing you from moving forward." The monk then shared a story to help Raghav understand the power of forgiveness. There once was a man who carried a heavy stone on his back. It was a burden that weighed him down every day, but he didn't realize that he had the power to drop it at any time. As he walked through life, he became more and more exhausted, and the stone seemed to grow heavier. One day, a wise man saw him struggling and asked, "Why do you carry this stone?" The man replied, "Because it is my burden. I cannot let it go." The wise man said, "The stone is heavy because you hold on to it. If you release it, it will no longer weigh you down." The man then realized that he had the power to free himself from the stone, and when he let go, he felt lighter and more at peace. Raghav pondered the story, feeling a shift within his heart. "But master, I've been holding on to this anger for so long. How can I simply release it?" Avad looked into Raghav's eyes with compassion. "Start by acknowledging the pain and hurt that you feel, but understand that it is your attachment to that pain that keeps it alive. When you forgive, you are not condoning the wrong, but you are freeing yourself from the anger that holds you captive. Practice forgiving, even if it is difficult, for your own peace." Raghav left the monk's presence feeling lighter, as though a burden had been lifted from his heart. He spent the next several days reflecting on the lessons he had learned. One evening, as he walked by Kavi's house, he stopped. The anger he had carried for so long still lingered, but he realized that it was no longer serving him. With a deep breath, he let go of his resentment and silently forgave Kavi. He then walked to Sandeep's home and, with a similar sense of peace, forgave him as well. Over the following weeks, something miraculous began to happen. Raghav's crops started to flourish, his animals grew healthy, and his fields seemed to bloom with abundance. The more he forgave, the more his life began to thrive. The peace he had found within himself brought prosperity to every aspect of his life. As time passed, Raghav's heart remained open and free from the bitterness that had once consumed him. He realized that forgiveness had not only healed his relationships with others but had also healed him. His heart, once heavy with anger, was now light and full of peace, and the prosperity he sought had found its way into his life. Years later, when Raghav became an elder in the village, he would often share his story with younger farmers who came seeking advice. Forgiveness, he would say, is the key to true abundance. When you release the burden of anger, you make room for peace and prosperity to enter your life. Moral of the story: forgiveness is not a gift you give to others, it is a gift you give to yourself. By holding on to anger, you prevent peace and prosperity from flowing into your life. True freedom comes when you let go of resentment and make space for forgiveness, allowing your heart and life to heal. When you forgive, you set yourself free. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to give it a like, share it with others who might benefit, and subscribe to the channel for more valuable content like this. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.